I'm Jess, and I study material science at Queen's. I chose Queen's because I really liked the college when I went round on the open day, and everyone here was really friendly and really made me feel quite welcome. I didn't have many colleges to choose from in the first place, which really actually helped narrow down my choices because I just felt so overwhelmed when I saw the list of colleges. So actually having a smaller choice really helped me narrow down what I really wanted. So one thing I knew I definitely wanted from a college was 4 years of guaranteed accommodation, which Queen's does provide. So that was a really good point in Queen's favour. And I also, when going around the college, I looked at the grounds and all of the facilities. And at Queen's, there's a practice room, there's a really lovely library, and to be honest, the library did sell me on it. My favourite part of college are definitely the people. So at Queen's and at most colleges, it's a real mix of students. So you get to meet people who study completely different subjects to you, which really broadens my knowledge of the world, and it's really interesting getting to meet people with different viewpoints than me. My course is quite lecture based. Most sciences tend to be very lecture based in that most of the teaching is done in lectures, and then at the tutorials you usually go through a problem sheet that you'll have done based on lectures. So my weekly schedule usually looks like in the mornings from 9 till about 12 I'll have lectures, and then after lectures I'll head back to college for lunch, and then after lunch I might have some tutorials in the afternoon, which we call tutes, or some labs, and then in the evening usually I will have some kind of activity on. So I do quite a lot of music. I play in a couple of orchestras. I also organise my own quartet, and I also do quite a bit of sport. So I play table tennis and badminton as well as chess. The admissions interview wasn't actually as scary as I thought it would be. I prepared for it by really reading around my personal statement, so making sure I knew it inside out and I could talk about each point that I brought up. So the best thing about being a Queen's student is probably the food. I have heard and experienced some other colleges' food, and it does vary from college to college, and also the price does vary as well, so that's something to keep in mind. Queen's food is very good, and there's an excellent selection of vegetarian, vegan, and also meat options, and they're all for a really reasonable price as well. So at lunchtime it's pay per item, so you only pay for what you choose, which is a really good system. And of course it's subsidised by the college, so it's actually a lot cheaper than if you were to buy the same meal elsewhere. When my friends from outside of Queen's or outside of the university come, I love taking them to see the library. So the Queen's Library is probably the best library in Oxford. I might be a bit biased, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So there are 3 levels to the library. There's the upper library, the lower library, and the new library. So the new library, of course, was the newest one. It was opened, I think, 3 years ago now, by Rowan Atkinson, because he was an old member of Queen's, and yeah, it's a really lovely space to work. Yeah, but the upper library is absolutely gorgeous. So you could probably look up pictures of it, but it's basically this really old, oak panelled, gorgeous place where it's my favourite place to study because there are individual booths where there are desks and 2 chairs. So it's very kind of private and usually quite quiet, and it's just a really lovely place to work.